Hi guys, well I am back in the kitchen ready to deal with the apple pie filling that oozed out all over the place. Now surprisingly, I did ask for some advice on a canning page that I'm a member of online, and the one girl said, well, they might have sealed, and I thought, oh, I don't think so, not with this much stuff oozing out of them. But happily, 5 of them seem to have been sealed really, really good. And again, that one's got some space in it. These ones are all pressed right up against the lid, which would make me think there wasn't enough headspace, but that's not the case. Either way, these ones are all sealed really, really well. I've picked them up over and over again. The 4 that didn't seal, the lid just slid right off very easily. They were clearly not sealed. So you can see how a lot of it has oozed out, but I'm going to leave it the way it is. Now I was going to dump everything in the jelly pan, reheat it, re-sterilize the jars, but what I did was I cleaned up the outside of the jars really carefully so there's nothing on the outside. I cleaned the rim here, or the outside of the ring here, as well as I could. So what I'm going to do is clean the top off really, really well. Then I'll use paper towel with vinegar to get a really good seal. Use some clean lids and rings. And I'm just going to use I was going to heat up the big giant canner on the wood stove, but I'm just going to use my pressure canner as a water bath. And again, a lid that I did not throw away when the canner rusted out. These things are so junky. Even my new one, this one's brand new. I've only used it a few times and there's already chips on the bottom where it's resting. They're just appalling. And then this one is so big and there's no handles on it, which is really a problem. Anyway, I was going to use that, but I'm just going to use my pressure canner because there's lots of room to get these jars in and more height than my biggest stainless steel pot, because I'm worried about the water boiling over, of course, because, you know, it's going to be sizzling hot on the stove if its water starts boiling over all over the place. So, and again, the thing I like about that is I can just move it to the right away from the firebox if that starts happening. So I'm going to use this. I'm just going to leave it as it is and re-seal these 4 jars, recan them, process them, and I still have some apples, so I think I might cut these ones up for jelly. Still kind of the jury's out on that. They're quite bruised. Some of them are starting to rot. You know, it's been a few days now, so I might just cut those up, put them with the peels and everything from this batch, and make a nice big batch of jelly. I'm just going to get the stove lit. I've got my newspaper and kindling in there. Just going to get the stove lit and going good while I clean up those jars and get some lids on them. Now I'm going to open this. I just take these off to make it easier to light at the back of the stove. If I just light the paper at the front, it takes a while to get to the back. So I light it at the back and the front. I'm going to open these vents on the door. I find it starts smoking pretty quick out here, so I just leave the door open for a short period of time. I can see the smoke venting towards the stove, and I need to get the bottom of the stove cleaned out again to get ready for winter, and I keep forgetting about that, so I'm gonna have to do that pretty soon. You can see that, oh, now the smoke's coming out the front, so I'm just gonna close that. And like I said, I've got the flue open all the way. I've got these open all the way to get it going good. And then what I do once it's going really good is I close these all the way and then just open 2 turns. I've got the door open because I might as well heat it up in here. It's a cold old day. Not really cold, but you know, we're getting into the colder weather now. The temperatures are going to be in the single digits next week. So you can really hear it now. Going good. We keep all of our cutoffs from when we're working on a project like the chicken coop too, so it just makes awesome kindling. It starts so well. Gets the fire going, gets that good bit of hot embers before I put bigger wood on. Now I only have one giant piece of wood in my sling here, so I think I'll go get some smaller stuff. I like to put smaller stuff on and then get bigger and bigger, and this one I would only put on like to burn all day or all night or something. So I'll go get some smaller stuff now. Chris was just out cutting a bunch of the scrap stuff to get it out of the way, another pile of crap out of the way, and this gets the stove going really good and really hot, which is what I want. And then I will get some hot water in my pot. And look at this giant log. Now it's in the way. But I will get some of this nice dry stuff. And I like the dry, the little stuff, the branches too. It gets the stove going really good, all that deadfall. I've got to get to that deadfall too. My goodness, so many things to do. Okay, leave that for a bit. Get it going nice and hot. And get my canner filled with some hot water here too. I always try to do two things at once. Get the cloth hot and cleaned off, wipe the jars and fill this, because every time we're engaging the hot water, it triggers the pump, the well pump. So you have to think about these things when you're off grid. The generator is running right now because it's a cold, dreary, cloudy day, so we're not getting that much sun. And I think it was the same yesterday, so I'll clean these off. I'll clean them off again. And I'm just trying to get the worst of the apple off the rims. And then I'll clean them again with vinegar, because this was super messy. And I maybe should turn this water, I'll maybe put the water in the canner warm, not too hot, because I don't want to shock these jars. I want them to heat up slowly. And again, this is kind of an experiment because this has never happened to me before. So, yeah, that's about halfway up the jar. I don't want it too hot. So I'm going to get the vinegar now and wipe the rims with paper towel with vinegar on it. And that'll clean them off really well. And then I've got to get some lids and rings for these. Okay, so I've got my lids for these 4 jars sterilizing on the stove top. Just get these cleaned up good. I'm so relieved. Hopefully this will do it and I don't have to decant all of these jars and reheat everything. And I've certainly got some extra headspace now that the stuff oozed out. My goodness, what a mess. That tea towel has just blobs of apple pie filling on it, so I gotta clean that really well before I put it in the washing machine. Okay, got that ready, and I will just wait till my rings are sterilized, get them in this water and heat it nice and slowly, and hopefully this is gonna work. My goodness, what a mess. Look at these blobs of pie filling on my tea towel. Anyway, I've got to put a load of laundry in, so I will wait and do that with my load that I'm putting in. I've got a bunch of jars already washed and well, not sterilized. I put them in the oven to sterilize. So I want to make some apple jelly with those apples, and then I'm going to make another batch of lemon honey jelly. And I think what I'm going to do is put ginger in the apple, because apple and ginger, my goodness. And the lemon honey jelly I made, I think I'm going to add ginger to that too. So I should have enough jars here to make a batch of each, a double batch of each. And that'll get these jars used up, and then I will get on to tomatoes. This is going pretty good now. I'll wait a few more minutes till I close the stove vent. Once this is pushed in, all the heat goes to the oven. Yes, that knob's hot, just reminded myself. Just gotta get these lids heated up too so that they're sterilized. Be right back. The chickens are just loving this weather. A little bit of a breeze now. Not too crazy. Feels like it might get crazy. But all of my girls are getting their feathers back on their backs too, except for my little bald hen. We might bring her in, I'm not sure yet. Henrietta, you gonna give me some babies in the spring, Henrietta? I hope so. So I hadn't checked on the tomatoes in a couple of days, but you can see how many of them are going red, being in the sun here. So I am going to have to get cracking and get a bunch of these processed. These are the ones I sorted a few days ago. So I got to get this batch and that. I think I'll do them all together, either puree them or do them in chunks and get them ready to process into salsa maybe. I will have to buy some peppers though. My peppers are not going to be ready. These are getting ripe pretty quick. You can see how many of the ones over there are turning red as well. And I am just going to get mountains of peppers on here. I saw one somewhere. There's just going to be so many peppers. Oh, my camera's not focusing. Too many leaves. But yeah, I am just going to get, oh, there's my little pepper. Isn't that cute? But yeah, they're not going to be ready. I'll get a box of peppers at the commercial Costco. And looks like my cantaloupes are dying. So I'm not really that worried about it. I'm just going to start over with the cantaloupes because I'm just going to put one seed in each little hill. Chris and I are going to get that wire up here from one end of the greenhouse to the other, and I will get the vines growing on there, and that way I can sort of see where to prune and where everything's going. Same with the cucumbers. Not really sure why. I probably overwatered them again. But these are the kind of tomatoes we usually get at Costco in the little box, little package. These are called Moneymaker tomatoes, and you can see how many we have. So this is really exciting. But we need to get these. Look at how this tomato, this one's already bent right there. And just one tomato is bending it over, and it has more blossoms on the end. So we really need to get that done too. So yeah, I'll get this apple juice and or done for apple jelly, and then I got to get on to tomatoes. I'll do these in waves as they turn red. Lots and lots and lots of blossoms on this cherry tomato plant. I think it's called Tiny Tim. Oh, this one just says patio, but it's I've got some here somewhere that are called Tiny Tim. So we're gonna have tomatoes coming out of our yin yang, which is awesome. And look at my limes. It says on my camera screen, it says set focus. I need my kid here, my little techie wizard. So I've got lots of new blossoms coming on the end of the lime tree. The healthy one. These two are still a little forlorn, but they're coming. And we've got to get pesto done. Oh my goodness. The more I talk about this and see this, the more panicked I get. Okay, my rings are ready. Just take lids are ready. I will take them off the heat, get my rings ready, and then I can get this in. Now this water has cooled down, so I will add a little bit of hot water, I think, till it's over the top of the jars. Okay guys, I have got my jars in there. I've got them spaced out a bit. Fingers crossed, everybody. I don't have the water too hot in there. I want it to warm up really slowly. That's why I don't have it right over the wood box. I want this water to heat slowly and the contents to heat slowly. And I've got lots of time. Got the wood stove on. I was going to put it on anyway. And this is what I love about this stove. Like, once we're living in here full time, you're just doing this. It's not costing you anything to even turn the stove on while you can make dinner, reheat dinner, whatever. You can see this fire's going really nice now. So I think I will close these vents as well, these little knobs. So, and just a reminder, don't do it with your bare fingers. I basically close it all the way. And then I open it 2 turns, depending on what I'm doing. I want the stove to heat up pretty quick here. So this one has the air to underneath the box, and this one has the air going right into the firebox. Oh, I heard a big ka-chunk. I hope that was wood and not a jar. Okay. This is going to take some time, so I'm just going to let it heat up slowly. The other thing I want to do is get a bunch of eggs pureed with my immersion blender and get some eggs freeze dried. Rita said a dozen per tray, so that'll get 5 dozen eggs freeze dried. I'm really not getting many eggs now, and my new egg layers haven't started, so got to get some eggs put away. So this is the ginger that I get at Costco. You know, this is so huge compared to the little tiny packets you get at the grocery store. It is organic, and I can't remember, I think it's $8.99 for this big bag at Costco where we are, so that's 1 3/4 pounds. And it's not from you-know-where. I've loaded the stove up with wood, and there are some bubbles coming out of the jars. It's heating up. I moved it sort of to the middle of the stove, and I will move it a little further over top of the firebox once I'm pretty sure the contents of the jars are heated up too. Okay, I just moved the pot over to almost the center of the wood box because it's gotten really nice and hot. There's more bubbles coming out of the jars, and I want to get this boiling. So this is starting to boil now. I'll just let it get to a little bit harder boil. I just put another big log on the stove, and then I'll put the timer on for 25 minutes. So I moved that right over top of the ring on the firebox, and it started boiling almost immediately. So I'm going to put my timer on for 25 minutes. I've just taken the lid off because these are boiling really hard, and I don't want the water dripping off the lid onto the stove. Well guys, I left these in the canner for 15 minutes with the lid off, in addition to the 25 minutes canning time, and 3 of them are sealed, I think. This one started oozing, so I tightened the lid down. Now you can see how full they are. So again, it seems like headspace was the problem, but I do not understand why. If anybody has any ideas, like I said, I asked on one of my canning pages online, and she was right. 5 of them were sealed. I really didn't think with that much stuff oozing through that it would seal, but they did. And this one, if it doesn't seal when it cools down, because like I say, a little bit did ooze out of there, I guess it'll have to be eaten first. Put it in the fridge. So at least I was able to save them with a lot less work, thank goodness. Again, this is totally new experience to me. I have no idea why this happened the way it did. Just don't know. It said to quarter the apples. You know, they were pretty chunky, so maybe because they weren't cooked enough through, I don't know. Either way, it's turned out not too bad. 8 out of 9 have sealed. The 9th one I'll see once it cools down. So these will get labeled and added to the canning stuff that I've already got done, all the different pie fillings. So I am done for today. I am tuckered right out, and it is hot in here, just sweltering with that wood stove going. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video with your family and friends. We'll see you next time.